All right.
Take that! Objection!
I have pressed the record button. Sorry. We can now begin our Ace Attorney episode. I have never played that game. All I know about it is you yell objection a lot, and someone has a really cool visor. But
you would really enjoy the Ace Attorney games, to be honest.
Yeah, Phoenix Wright is good.
Just the right amount of dad jokes and also actually thinking.
Apparently, the federal government of the United States of America has a dad joke database.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's important.
That they do.
I think that's probably the greatest thing my tax money has gone to.
It's something that
I heard it, but
it's something that we can all agree on. Anyway, hello, welcome to Cause and Effect. This is a homebrew Dungeons and Dragons campaign that is 25% dad jokes by volume.
What about by weight?
I don't want to wait.
Dad.
We're starting now. You all agreed to it. I asked in advance. Allegedly, you all said you were ready to game. I was told the word was allegedly. Allegedly, I was told. Until proven in court. My name is Crash.
Hobby's ready.
I will allegedly be your DM for the evening. Tonight, I am allegedly joined by a bunch of awesome people who are not allegedly awesome. It's been proven. That trial has reached a conclusion. There was a jury. They were unanimous. I'm sorry, I don't make the rules. I just make them up. With me tonight are Beth, Ellie, Io, Millie, and Jen. What happened last time?
Allegedly.
What allegedly happened last time?
We played the ghosts
gave alleged diamonds to a dragon.
Right.
Oh,
right. We
alleged is correct because they were cubic zirconia.
Yes, exactly.
Oh no.
Yeah, the dragon is not going to hire a jewelry appraiser to find out.
I went out of my way to be obnoxious performing so that way everyone could sneak, and then they all rolled nat 20s. So,
obviously your obnoxious performing is what let us roll the nat 20s. The dice never lie. Obviously.
And then, so we got the thingy, and then we went to the mansion, and we snuck in, and we got the other thingy, and we let somebody kill their evil master.
There were ghosts. He'd hired ghosts to try to scare his evil master.
To be fair, the guy in question was also evil.
And also, to be fair, I found the secret passageways.
We were running all over that map.
Important.
Yes.
We split the party so many ways.
I liked running over
secret passageways.
I liked running all over the house map. I did not like running all over the frozen cave map because, and I was reminded of this when editing that recording, text ended up in a wall no fewer than 4 times.
Yeah, everyone please stop moving so we can direct you to the right place.
Yeah, that first one should have just been theater of the mind, but it was fine. So yeah, last episode was our Christmas episode. It's gonna go live in, I think, March. But it was recorded right before Christmas. And we don't do this for other people, we do this for us. Other people get to join in.
Yep.
Yeah, our Patreon patrons can hear it before New Year's, but that's about it. So, yes. I love how everything that was talked about was true, and we have walked around the plot without actually talking about it. So...
Not what it was.
All I heard was, got what it was, but I know what you were trying to say. So...
I forgot.
Bindle Brightlight.
Oh, Nightlight.
No.
Oh, no.
Brightlight. I got a snort. I appreciate that. So, Bindle Brightlight and the Ogmanites had a bit of a problem where the master fuse box and the generator and the backup generator were all kind of slagged because the filtration system was set for eliminate nanites.
Rated for lit.
And it wasn't prepared for
Not
a
eliminate
lich
lich
made of
nanites.
nanites.
Yeah.
Mo, Cavill's patron and also entrepreneur I can speak. We talk pretty one day. Mo knows a guy who can make a generator quickly, but very expensive. But that's okay because Mo's going to pass the costs on to the Augmanites. It's fine. Mo just needed a bunch of fresh quests to be done. A lot of cohorts were sent. Your cohort in particular was specifically sent on 2 missions where stealth and subterfuge and bartering could be done instead of outright murder. An outright murder did occur, but in your defense, you didn't do it.
Uh-huh.
So,
Person stepped on the missing stair.
Yeah. And
you're going to enslave fiends, then, well...
Don't.
Should be ordering them a bit more
to
carefully not to make death traps. Yeah. Should be a bit more explicit about not making death traps for you to stumble into.
When you enslave a being that in their very nature makes them a lawyer of the fiend ecosystem, you get what's coming to you. Let's not talk about Mo's friend Firefox.
Mo's what?
Mo's friend Firefox is the same kind of fiend. Mo will say he's a friend. Firefox will not.
Mo, are you keeping a demon on a leash?
Not a very tight leash. Usually.
That goes back far.
That goes back too far. I went back further when preparing for this session.
Oh.
Yes. Anyway, so, by the way, if you haven't done a long rest, you can do a long rest because it has been 24 hours.
I don't know if I did. Okay.
Been like 2 weeks.
Long rest is under hit dice on the attributes page, on any of the pages, actually.
It has been 2 weeks real time. It has not been 2 weeks game time. It's been about 24 hours. The power is back on in the Augmenite Enclave. Bindle has been busy because apparently Bindle's research project, which wasn't originally her project, it was Project Lead's project. Project Lead is out because there were too many safety concerns and containment breaches. The last one was the final straw. So now Bindle is Project Lead, and wouldn't you know it, when you don't spend all of your project funding on things to throw into a vat of nanites, you have money for other things.
Astounding.
Yeah.
It ain't so.
I mean, the ceiling mounted ballista is a sunk cost, but also, we just got more funding for our project from an anonymous donor. That doesn't happen usually. Mo whistles and walks out of scene. Anyway. Oh,
that's all right.
It was a fraction of what I made last night. Don't ask how small a fraction. It's a lot of zeros. On the bottom number. Anyway, there's a fine line between a numerator and a denominator. Only a fraction of people get that joke. Wow, that's a lot of silence from that response. I didn't mean to be so divisive
at all. So. Oh, now I got it.
So you're multiplying your sins.
I mean, it all adds up in the end. Anyway.
I don't know enough about math to know if that's what you're supposed to do with a sin, but I'm pretty sure it's not what you're supposed to do with a sin.
I'm pretty sure a sin would count as like, you know, an one of those like number fake numbers.
my favorite
That's
part
true.
about
I think
this,
they're imaginary numbers.
It makes sense for the pun to pronounce it as sin instead of sign, but also there were actual math nerds taking their MP3 players and smashing them in response to this. Or they would if they listened to this.
You know, when the sine cosine math was actually my favorite, because then it becomes a logic problem, not a math problem.
That's why I say coding
I
is a
enjoyed
math
that
class.
part of trig.
Anyway, Bindle has hired 2 assistants. They're kind of young. They're new to the Ogmanite Enclave. There's Cannonball Codswallop and Maeve Maltmasher. And 1 second here. Apparently we are having issues with doing a long rest. It's underneath your hit dice. So you got your hit points, and then right next to it is hit dice, and it's in the same box as hit dice.
Same box as hit dice.
Yes.
Okay.
I will press it for you. There we go.
Thank you.
Mech has had a long rest. I don't think Mech did anything that required a long rest, but we did it anyway. All right, so.
No, why not?
You've been called back to the Ogmanite Enclave because Bindle had more information for you and a new gift. The new gift is in a spray bottle.
Lich be gone? Are you saying that we are literally going to spray for liches?
Spray for lich.
Technically, you're kind of correct. Anyway, hold still. Bindle starts spraying Hobby first.
Hobby fluffs out all her fur and covers her face with her hands.
Oh no.
Move your hands, please. Gotta get everything.
So, it's like swallowing a toad first thing in the morning. You do the worst part first.
Do I get to groom myself afterwards? Oh no, does it taste terrible?
You're going to want to wait a little bit for this to get off your fur before you start grooming.
Oh no, don't wait for this to get off your fur. Well, it will get off your fur. I just sprayed you with nanites. Well, anti-nanites. They're nanites, but I've altered them. Now they only eat themselves.
They're antanites? Right, I'm never licking myself again.
That is...
Cast prestidigitation to make it not taste terrible.
I was
Doesn't
afraid
only
you were
clean
going to
things.
say to remove them, but your idea makes a lot more sense. Anyway, as I was saying...
no, I know better than to do that.
These nanites kind of sort of self-replicate, but they do so only by eating other nanites. They will cannibalize themselves given enough time, but it should make you at least resistant to, infections or anything like that from you-know-who coming back. And Bindle...
Useful.
Bindle and Clonk are spraying down the entire party. We've also given a few spray bottles to Cogbucket Sr. to, spray around Flag Headquarters because apparently she's been there a lot. More than once is a lot. So, yeah. It doesn't last forever. Like I said, they self-cannibalize after a while. But they prioritize non-modified anti-nanites. If you could get a sample of the newer strains, that would help me, update these. But should be good for a little while.
We are literally spraying for liches.
Yeah.
I love it.
I didn't think of that when we made this, but okay. Works for me.
Excellent.
Anyway, Cannibal has some interesting theories and hypotheses about, what you can do next. And Cannonball comes over. Cannonball is wearing a flight cap, an old-fashioned flight cap with goggles. The goggles are pushed up to his forehead. There is very clearly markings on his face that reveal that he was wearing the goggles when he either got frostbite or something blew up in his face. It was something, because he's got the opposite of raccoon eyes. Right. So, we've been working on nanite detection because you're trying to find a phylactery, for want of a better term, for what you're doing. And the problem is, detecting nanites is kind of like detecting magnetic fields. They get weaker exponentially as distance increases. So, you need a whole lot of them in one place to be able to detect them from only a few feet away, which makes it a little disturbing that we found a blip.
Where did you find the blip?
When you say wonderful, Cavil, Cannibal just looks at you.
Sorry, do I need to explain sarcasm?
I am up to date on several treatises on sarcasm and its uses, but I never saw a need for it. Seems to waste a lot of time. Anyway.
Where's the blip?
Cannonball pulls out a map and unrolls it and points to a spot that is nearer to De Perfecta than you are now, but on the other side of De Perfecta. It appears to be in the middle of the mountain range.
And you're detecting a blip from this far?
Oh, that's not a mountain range.
What is it?
Well, there's mountains all around it, but that's because of a bit of history. I've been informed that you're not from around here, like time stream-wise and planet-wise.
Right. Yeah.
So this planet used to be ruled by a single emperor who controlled an empire the size of the entire continent. And the emperor, way back when, had a brother or an uncle, or I didn't really pay attention in history that much, who decided they would like to be emperor of their own smaller kingdom. And as a result...
happens.
Yes, that happens somewhat frequently in history. Even smaller kingdoms have that problem. Also, the Yagmane Enclave had that problem with a few research projects, but never mind about that. What doesn't usually happen is having the emperor hire a bunch of wizards to surround said break-off kingdom with some impassable mountains, thus cutting off all trade routes, all water sources, pretty much everything.
This emperor seems to put a new definition to more money than sense.
I mean, from the emperor's perspective, he already owned the world. Back then, there was no idea.
Isn't that the same perspective as every 2-year-old ever?
I mean,
it was the original emperor that did the mountains, not the one breaking away. That makes more sense.
Yeah.
But I thought, like, literally every toddler in the world thinks that they own the world.
Yeah.
So why does this guy actually have power?
Oh, he doesn't anymore. We overthrew the empire.
He's not in power anymore.
Over 1,000 years ago.
Okay.
But this happened well before then.
Rad.
Anyway, the guy who broke away and then was broken away from everything, his name was Nimr, or Niemer, I don't know. I read it from a book. I don't know how it's pronounced. That area, if you find it in old books, is referred to as Niemer's Folly. It is a really bad place. Everyone who has gone there and investigated, which was mostly ragtag bands of adventurers. One group was all kobolds, which is a little weird. Well, it's mostly undead abominations. Undead abominations. Every now and then a demon. You know, that kind of stuff.
Hobby starts checking her character sheet for turn undead.
At least one Dracolich, but I think they got killed. Again.
Again. All right.
Yeah. Anyway, enough bad stuff has happened there, magically speaking, including the event that created that area, that it's usually ill-advisable to go there. So finding a bunch of nanites in that area that we can detect from here is a bit troubling.
How many nanites are there if we can detect them from here?
You are given a unit of measurement that you have never heard before, the Codswallop unit, named after Cannonball Codswallop, who you are currently talking to.
Okay, so how much is that, volume-wise?
Oh,
like, if they're all relatively close together.
Well, that's the thing.
How big?
The technology for compressing things and extra-dimensional spaces is well known. So you could get all that into the head of a pin, technically. It's likely not on the head of a pin.
I hope not. Do we get to take a nanite detector with us in case it's actually small and not like we walk in there and we see a glowing blue mountain or something?
Well, unfortunately, that particular device is not something that is referred to as portable.
Not even if we ask Tex to carry it?
Cannonball looks over at Tex and makes some calculations on the margin of the map. Then looks over at Tex and then crosses out a number and then puts a bigger number. Well, it looks like the main problem
A
you'd have
joint
is
Tex-Mex
doorways.
idea.
Oh.
What about a joint Tex-Mex production?
It's not a matter
Thinking it out would
doorways.
It's not a matter of weight ratios. It's a matter of where you would lift it from and how many extension cables you would need.
Oh.
I just wanted to say Tex-Mex production. That was really all I wanted to add to that.
I mean, valid. My favorite part is I do not believe that particular pun was in mind when Ellie and Jen respectively named their characters.
Yeah, we had no idea. No idea.
It was Gox and
Excited.
Socks all over again.
It was. But that one was planned.
Well, no, Gox and Socks was
This
the
one was
original
just
two,
a
and that wasn't
beautiful
planned.
twist of fate.
Sorry, what?
Gox and Socks was the original two, and that wasn't planned.
Yes.
But once you both saw what you were naming your characters, you're like, okay, well, they're brothers.
Yes. Mm-hmm. That's how it went.
Yeah. And after that, it was all not coincidence. It was definitely planned.
Yeah.
And for years and years, every kobold was 3-letter names. Hey, wait a minute. Says A. Spelled A-Y-E.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yep.
So, it's not something that I'd worry about. Chances are, if the nanites are there, it'll be very obvious, and you will see something going on.
And then we squirted a lot with the anti-nanite stuff?
I mean, I suppose you could.
I don't suppose you've got a better anti-nanite bomb.
I mean, we'd like to make one, but we'd like to be sure it's effective, so we'd love if you brought back a sample.
Right. Okay. We can probably get Flag headquarters to do that.
Oh yeah, we've already sent the coordinates over. You will need a sample collection tool.
Long tongs aren't going to cut it, huh?
Oh, no, here. And Cannonball hands you what appears to be an ice cream scoop.
This is disturbingly short. Can I put it on long 10-foot pole?
I was informed that you had the ability to cast Mage Hand.
Oh, that, right. Okay.
Also, don't
You'll
worry about
take
the ice
charge
cream
of
scoop
thing.
holding it. It's like a miniature bag of holding in there. Don't put it in a bag of holding.
I don't own a bag of holding.
I do.
And I'm not putting it in your bag of holding. Because you
Good.
don't have mage hand.
Also, it's covered in blood.
Again.
And more blood on it.
It was like that when I woke up this morning.
How does this keep happening?
I don't know.
I think it's cursed.
I think that we need to get this taken to like an exorcist.
I took it to an old priest
someone
and a
put
young
blood in it?
priest, and I brought them some pea soup to pay for it. And they said it wasn't their problem. They ate the soup, though.
Like we should. Can we hire somebody to research this for us? How does this get blood in it every morning?
Oh, no, it doesn't have blood in it. It has blood
Oh,
on it.
prestidigitation.
I just need to know. We can take care of it, but like, why?
Well, I tried doing
Maybe
a
it's
stakeout
oozing.
to see what was happening,
Mm.
and then I fell asleep.
That's
But
fair.
When you say a stakeout, did you put like a stake out on it, or were you watching it?
Was I supposed to?
I just want to know which one you did.
I tried watching it, but it was very boring. It doesn't do anything.
That's okay. Good. I was worried that maybe you misunderstood and you put a bloody stake on it.
No.
Maybe-
I want the blood to not be increasing. I'm not getting rid of the blood
No.
by adding more blood.
I just wanted
should-
to make sure. I just
Idea.
wanted to make sure.
I have an idea. Why don't we put a towel or a sponge on it, and then when it gets all bloody, we can bring it over here and have someone with the Augmenites analyze what kind of blood it is.
Oh, that sounds like an excellent idea. So excellent, in fact, that I did actually put it on a towel. I was trying to prevent the floor from getting stained. Um, one second.
Well,
From
A
making this our
reaches into the
quest
bag of
crash.
holding and pulls out a bloody rag that's about the size of half a
Crash, you're
small
stopping
washcloth.
us from ignoring the plot fully and going after this is our main plot. This is,
No, we're going
I
to just.
know what you're doing.
We should drop it off the bloody rag here and make sure it's not like nanite blood or something.
Oh,
Do
that's
they
an
even
excellent
have
idea.
blood?
Here you go. A holds it out to Cannonball, who just stares at it with the expression of, what am I supposed to do with this?
Can you do
I think you might
some
want a bucket.
research to see what type of blood it is? Because it keeps coming out of nowhere. It's like we're being attacked by a ghost.
Cannonball grabs a pair of tongs and gingerly takes the half washcloth, which is very, very ragged and looks like it has been clawed into pieces, from A.
Like that when you got it, eh?
No. It was clean.
Miss Cannon,
Was it all
Never heard-
raggedy and stuff?
No, I got it from the showers in the flag headquarters.
Was
of a bag of holding, eating rags and making them bloody.
I've been told that if the bag of holding is eating things, it's a bag of devouring. And,
Are we sure that it's not an enchanted mimic?
well,
Is its name Taco Bell?
I paid a wizard to cast Identify on the bag, and they said it was definitely a bag of holding, and that I should stop getting blood on them.
Interesting than your anything else, Crash. I'm sorry. We're gonna figure out what. I'm gonna count that for my inspiration.
Go right ahead.
But yeah, I don't care about the plot. We gotta figure out why our bag of holding is blooding.
I've been
No,
hinting
we
at
have
this
to care
plot
about the
for
plot, too.
many episodes.
Yeah, yeah, no, the plot's now about this bag of holding to me.
I got one question though.
What's
So
that?
yesterday in the afternoon, the big bad evil lady lich thing sort of got rhombused to death, but everyone who knows anything about it said she was gonna be coming back.
Uh-huh.
Is this something we want to be doing while we
So we
wait?
no. I think we need to go see if we can find her phylactery.
Oh,
We can worry about-
fine. We'll do plot.
They're both plots.
That's all right.
The
We
bag's
gave some.
just bleeding. It hasn't done anything yet. We can worry about it later.
It-
Yeah,
It's
but I'm
not
trying to see
apparently
if I can get
mangled.
away with not doing plot.
Hobby does want to ask one thing today, which is whether that towel was all raggedy and clawed
No, it was one of
before it
the.
got put
It
inside.
was one of the towels that you can
Right.
get in the showers in flag headquarters. They're full size, like shower
and A
towels.
put it on the ground and
Well, A
put
folded
the
it up a little bit.
bag on it, and was it all clawed up in the morning?
When A woke up, it was bloody, and that was all that was left of it.
I think we should buy an extremely sturdy lockbox for that bag of holding when we're sleeping. But for now, let's just make sure that we keep watch and don't let it eat anyone else.
It's not a bag of devouring. I was sure.
Yes,
So
but they
about
may have
that-
made it out of a mimic or something.
Or maybe somebody stuck something in it that likes to eat.
I turned it inside out already.
Does that actually make everything come out?
Yes, and A did that on
Okay.
day one, in front of everyone.
A is clever.
Well,
Does it have any side pockets?
A did not realize at the time how long it would take to pick up all the things that were in the bag of holding. So A was not very clever.
Oh well.
But
Details.
in a recording, A has already turned this bag of holding inside out to make all the things fall out.
Wonder if it has any spare pockets that we haven't seen.
Nope, just a simple bag. Anyway.
Haunted. Okay, let's get on to the nanites, and the bag is definitely next on the queue.
Possibly. Unless something else comes up. It's possible something else will come up.
Have we decided
Teleport?
to do the thing that we've been specifically asked to do?
Yes.
Seems so, yes.
Very well.
Thankfully.
And unlike every other time that I've had a party go to Nemer's Folly, which, if I had a nickel for every previous time I sent a party to Nemer's Folly, I'd have 2 nickels. Now I'd have 3. And this time around, you had teleportation. And also there's 2 A's on the map, so let's fix that.
Yep.
Goodbye, twin.
Okay.
It was A and AB.
Oh my.
Also, one of the A's was on top of the tile that had Chadrick, so it looked like it was just 2 A's and no Chadrick. There is no Chadrick, only A. And A Junior. And A the third. And a roll of 16 for a stealth check. So, let me describe the scene. You are in front of a very large building that is maybe about 50 feet tall. The doors in front of you are 15 feet tall and appear to be made of some type of stone, possibly granite. This building is very weathered. The star icons you see on the map are statues. You know that they were once statues of some type of humanoid, but they're worn away. The arms that were like outstretched are broken off at the elbow or further back. They're pockmarked. There's inscriptions underneath that are illegible. Something about, look upon my works, ye mighty, and despair. Actually, no, you can't even read that much. The landscape that you're in is mostly barren. You were told this was a wasteland that hasn't had water in centuries, and it looks like a wasteland that hasn't had water in centuries. Every now and then there are plants that you see that are desiccated. There's a few old dead trees off in the distance. You are completely surrounded by mountains. That's your horizon line, is mountains. And there appears to be a giant undead thing with a scythe off in the distance. It's sort of like slowly ambling in a direction. Not directly towards you. It's probably fine. But you do have these doors directly in front of you that are 15 foot tall, made of stone.
Hey, you want to take the north to check for traps, and I'll take the south?
Okay.
I'll help.
Come on.
Do I
Apparently I'll
perceive?
help.
What do I perceive?
I see, well, there's a bunch of things that stick out from the side of the building really high up, but I think that's decorative. They're like flying buttresses that somebody put on backwards.
Check for traps anyway. It's not a skill anymore. Is it a feature?
Actually, I take it back. They are flying buttresses on the sides. A doesn't know what
dear.
they're talking about.
Teehee. Yeah, what do I perceive about things with my 29?
The sides of the building look to be in the same shape as the front of the building, which is incredibly weathered, pockmarked. Windstorms will occasionally occur and like throw little bits of stuff around, and over the centuries that has caused some erosion. But everyone who got over a 15 looking for anything would also notice that there are windows on the sides, on the north side and the south side of the building, which are frosted to the point where they're almost opaque, but have a bluish tinge to them.
Mildly concerned.
There is also no other way into this building other than the stone doors.
I'm just gonna walk in.
Okay, give me a strength check to open the doors.
Checking the stairs for traps.
I mean, that's why I rolled my perception check, but I'll just walk in.
Oh no.
Give me a strength roll.
At the very least, if I get caught, I'll be a distraction.
This is true.
True.
Mhm.
Cavill did an
Hello.
investigation of 30 with a 31.
Millie, please
Yeah?
give me a strength check.
Oh, fine. I'm bad at that.
Yeah, but you're trying to open 15-foot tall doors made of stone.
16.
Somehow you manage to push them open just enough that you can squeeze through.
Just walked in.
A is coming back just in time to see you walk into the doors. Hey guys, I don't think there's anything.
I also
interesting.
want you guys to know.
Bye.
I want you guys to know that because I was taking care of my cat having a hairball when you guys said why we were coming here, I have no idea where we are or what we're doing.
You are at the location where they detected a large amount of nanites. They didn't know anything else about this area other than, well, this is bad to have that many nanites in one location. We shouldn't be able to detect it from this far away. You should probably go and check that out, bring back a sample. Hobby has an ice cream scoop to collect the sample. A has the spray bottle and is spraying everything that A sees. Occasionally, A will
I
stop,
respect that.
We don't want
do a 180 spin, and spray something again.
try not to run out of nanites.
369.
Giving it to him in a super soaker if he's going to be like this.
Tex made a drink roll 13. Oh no.
Tex is unable
I
to
was
push
just
the
trying to
door
open them
open for Tex
the rest
to
of the way.
A will come back
Maybe
and
Meg
help you.
should
Roll
help.
again.
Yeah.
We'll take the higher roll.
Who's
Leave
rolling?
my foot in like the doorway. Oh.
Okay.
The one.
The second time, you do get a running start and push on it a bit harder. A believes that A has helped. A has not helped. But A believes that they have helped.
Poor little guy.
In the door.
Okay. As you enter, this building apparently at one time was an ossuary. It was a place of the dead. There are still bone fragments scattered on the floor. There is a slight raised platform as you walk in that is covered with a few more bone fragments than normal and a little bit of rubble as well. But there are no biological corpses in here, and it appears that they have not been here for some time. You were told that this whole valley was filled with undead. It's possible that all the dead that were here got up and left, but it is filled with a significant number of humanoid beings, and you all recognize the designs. They are jurors. They are
Oh no.
mostly incomplete. Some of them are missing heads. Some of them is just a torso on effectively a coat hanger. Many of them are missing limbs, but it appears that just from where you are in this ossuary, as you walk in through the doors that are now open, there are jurors, modified Warforged based on the JR design, along the various spots of wall. There's also alcoves that go in. The ones that you're close enough to that you can get line of sight to, you can see that there's more jurors that are also in complete construction in those alcoves. So, are these
This
friends?
isn't creepy at all.
It
Huh.
seems unlikely.
I'm just gonna
So they're
stand over
unfinished
here with
then.
all the... Oh, these are all bones. Maybe I won't stand over here. As A walks away from the bones, there is a crunching underfoot and A winces. Sorry. Oh,
There's a lot of them.
yeah. I mean, you've all seen, except for
Light
A.
coming through some
you-
of these?
Well, the lights are coming from the windows. The sun is setting,
Ah,
and
Oh,
so more
okay.
light is coming from the south than the north because you are, maps, geometry, whatever. Anyway, there is light coming through the windows that is sort of blue tinged from the windows. A remembers that A is holding the spray bottle and starts spritzing things.
Hmm.
Tex has
we
come
just not
over
make comments
to a
about
spot
saving the stuff.
that is not just not just alcoves, but there are in fact curtains. The curtains are ratty. They're worn and musty looking, but they're intact. And if you go by how things are arranged in the rest of this ossuary, they are right where alcoves would be, but the curtains are covering those spots.
There's no evidence that there were curtains on the other alcoves.
No.
That's a good question. No? How did they get here?
Maybe they were built here with the rest of everything? I mean, they look old. The robots look new-ish, but the curtains look like they're maybe original vintage?
He is going to use Mage Hand to prod the curtains, eastmost curtains, very gently.
Okay. Yes, there is in fact a room behind the curtain.
But is there someone cranking a big wheel and shouting, "I am the great and powerful Oz"?
Give me a history check at advantage.
History at advantage.
16. Okay,
16.
So when you use Mage Hand to push the curtain aside and peek in, you do not see the wizard. There is no balloon. Pay no attention to that. You do see what appears to be a workshop. There are various tools laying about. There is a workbench of sorts. There are pipes and wires all over the place. This room appears to have initially been some type of workspace, possibly a room for embalming the dead before they are laid to rest in this place. But most of the stuff in here that's intact is aftermarket. Especially that large contraption that is bolted to the center table, which at one point probably was used to lay out the dead to prepare them for their final resting place. That contraption is quite large. It is 5 foot by 5 foot, but also rather tall, and in a special wire shrouded attachment on the top. It is containing a glowing crystal. You've seen this design before. With your 16 history check, you have definitely seen this before. It was in a swamp on
where all the zombies
on a
were.
crashed spaceship.
Right.
It's Control. And we've been playing for almost an hour. What do you say we take a short break?
Good idea.
Okay, we are back. And Hobby, just as you recognize Control, ensconced where Control is, there is the sound of an impact over by the doors. And remember I said there was that large being, a giant almost, with a scythe?
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, it's a bit larger than the doorway will allow. I mean, Tex did a good job of pushing the doors open, but the door frame was a bit larger. That's okay, though. This thing has made its way through anyway. It sort of crouched down to do it, and the sound you heard was the doors getting knocked down onto the ground as it pushes its way through, then rises up to its full height, which is a good 20 feet tall, inside this ossuary. It appears to be just that, an undead giant of some kind. It is covered in green tattoos, or paint or something, and it is holding a scythe that is a good 15 feet long. And it looks at all of you, and it lets out a roar. Hobby gets a 15 on stealth. You know, let me just do a check real quick. That's a dirty 20 to see you. Hobby isn't fooling anyone. Hobby pulls the curtain around Hobby to hide, but Hobby's feet are still poking through the bottom.
It's the tail. It's obviously the tail.
I didn't mean to roll with advantage, but I meant to wave for friendship.
Yes, you can. That is certainly an action you can take. But that is where we're going to end it for tonight, with you waving at the giant undead zombie with a scythe. So thank you, everyone, for listening. Thank you, everyone, for playing. Tonight I was joined by a bunch of awesome people, including Beth, Ellie, Eo, Millie, and Jen. Who wants to plug a thing?
Eo's mom writes books. At elizabeth-mccoy.com, you can check them out, or just search for Elizabeth McCoy at your favorite ebook retailer. Please, a legitimate one. You can ask your library to get them as well, and because they're there. And speaking of books,
my website is called Book of Jen. It's got some book reviews at the top of it, which I finally realized I should put at the top of it, considering the name of the the name of the blog. So I've been adding stuff slowly as I read through things, and you can find that at bookofjen.net. I'm also the host of the Shattered Soulstone podcast, which I haven't actually put together all the way yet today, but by the time you hear this or see this, I guess you can't actually see it, can you?
It's going live in late March.
Okay, so it'll be up by then for sure. But basically, I'm the host. I've been part of the Shattered Soulstone podcast for years, honestly, on and off. Started as one of the original hosts, ended up editing, all kinds of stuff. So so that's you can find that at shatteredsoulstone.com, and episodes typically go out every Saturday.
And speaking of websites,
run a Schrodinger's Federated social media site called elek.xyz. That's elekk.xyz. That is for nerdy people talking about nerdy things without having to worry about a bigot or a rude person showing up and just kind of hating all over your situation. So, that's nice.
There was a graphic I saw years ago that was a picture of Erwin Schrödinger, and the caption was, "Erwin Schrödinger will end you like a cat in a box." Or he won't. Thank you. And speaking of other websites, all of these podcasts are put on aaronbsmith.com/cogwheel. You can go there to see this campaign and the other campaign that is all kobolds. Don't believe anyone who's a naysayer who informs you that there are fake kobolds in the kobold game. They are all kobolds. All of them.
In your heart.
Except for that one there. That one's a human. But in her defense, she regrets everything. Also, she's an NPC. There's also a GURPS game on there that's GM'd by Beth, which is a great thing that Beth is doing because I get to be a player character and be told that I'm not allowed to throw a bottle of vomit into a pit of nope.
It was not the GM that told you that, to be fair.
Oh, no, Beth would have let me.
that's true.
Beth totally would have let me.
Yep.
My.
It's like, so here's the severed head. No, don't throw that in there either. Oh, okay. What about this corpse of a fish thing that's sort of half lizard, half fish? No. I ended up crawling down into the pit of note
did it
myself.
Mm-hmm. And then you found a shiny.
Yes, I did find a shiny. And a lot of screaming. There was a lot of screaming. It wasn't from me. I was singing sea shanties. The best part is this is all canon. Anyway, you can find all of these episodes and more at aaronbsmith.com/cogwheel. You can subscribe to individual campaigns or all of them in one big RSS feed. And if you really enjoy them, why not become a Patreon patron? Patreon.com/cogwheelgaming. Help us keep the lights on because those lights do cost money. And by lights, I mean server hosting. You can join other patrons, including Ellie, Shen, Walter, and patron emeritus Cindy. And until next time, this is Crash saying, is this about the blood? I'm sorry I attract blood in here. Good night, everybody.